Boxing Doctor in the house. Today we're gonna speak about Fury versus Hunter. Hughie Fury versus Hunter. This is gonna be a very interesting fight.
I would definitely say so. By the way, historian fan Nawaf Nafisi is in the house too. Obviously, it's going to be Hughie Fury versus Michael Hunter the second, as we all know.
Yes.
And Mike, he's been. You could say that he was a journeyman at one point, but now he's a respectful opponent.
Yeah.
His last fight was a draw against Jerry Forrest. Let's not forget that Michael's actually 6'2" with a 79 reach. He is a resident of Las Vegas, Nevada. Born in California, Van Nuys, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah.
this fight against Hughie Fury is going to be quite exciting on the 29th of October 2022. And the whole point of this is it's all about the WBA final eliminator. So obviously the winner from those two are going to go to the winners of, let's just say, the future fight post Robert Helenius and possibly Deontay Wilder. And then post that, there's going to be a fight against Andy Ruiz. And maybe the winner between Hunter and Hughie Fury is going to get a shot at the WBA final eliminator to win that particular belt.
Yes.
Now, we're all saying this right now, but we all know that boxing is just
Predictable. Yeah.
very unpredictable,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, we set plans, and at the end of the day, it never turns out the way that we planned. So, let's talk about skills. Let's talk about Hughie Fury with his style and his dad versus Michael Hunter, who's coming out of a draw. What do you think will happen?
Well, before we get into it, I want to share a little something. The last time I saw Hughie Fury fighting, the first time I seen him live fighting, that was 2019 in Jeddah. And for a lot of people who don't know, Hughie Fury is related to Tyson Fury.
His cousin.
Yes. And I think Hughie Fury is a really good boxer. A lot of people, they say about his power. He doesn't have a lot of power.
Tall fighter,
Lanky. If he's taught boxing properly, he's going to be like very good. His footwork is amazing. He fought against Samuel Peters, I believe, in Jeddah. Right now, if you look at his record, his last loss was against Alexander Povachnik, and
Povatkin is a known Russian champion, to be honest with you, but it was age that basically took him away, and he began to lose fights against Anthony Joshua as well as Dillian White. He had that amazing uppercut against Dillian White in the first fight, but then Dillian actually avenged that loss, and Alexander retired from that.
His last win, Hughie Fury's last win, is against Christian Hammer.
Who's a formidable opponent in his own level, you could say. Yes.
So he's right now. Hughie Fury is in a good level right now. It's a good fight for both of them. I think going into this fight, I see Michael Hunter has the edge because of his opponents that he has fought.
I mean, he's ranked the 11th in the world for a reason, right?
Yes.
He has a 60% or 61% ratio of a KO, of knocking out people.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that the bounty, known as Michael Hunter, has really had only one loss, and it was against the great Alexander Usyk.
Yeah, and it was a decision, as I believe.
A unanimous decision.
Wow, that's like.
And you're talking about one of the top upper echelon class of boxing skills. So it's pretty understandable that Michael Hunter lost, but that doesn't mean he's not a formidable opponent. And this could be a really dangerous fight for Hughie Fury if he's not, proactive, attentive to his skills, the distances, establishing the jab with his long reach. Because again, Hughie's 6'6" and Michael's 6'2".
Yeah.
So this is going to be a skill versus power fight, you could say.
Yes.
So definitely, fight fans, this is something that you do not want to miss if you truly are hardcore into the sport of boxing.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Michael Hunter, for what I have seen from him, over the years, he's the kind of fighter, he's always learning and developing in every fight. In every fight, he doesn't look the same. He looks different.
Good different or bad
different? Good. Okay. And Hughie Fury, he does look the same, but he tries to sharpen up his skills.
And I think his father actually
Yeah.
approached his training camp in a different fashion.
Yes.
Because his father is a good coach. We can recognize
yes,
that.
Yes, yes.
But Michael, by the way, FYI, Michael should have won the fight against Alexander Bavakian.
Mm-hmm.
And he drew that fight, but a lot of fight fans and reporters and journalists and professionals actually thought that Michael won that fight.
Yeah.
So you have to consider that into the taking. And literally the two fights that followed after, he knocked out his opponents. One of them was Sean Laurie and the other one was Mike Wilson. So he is on a good streak, you could say. He just needs that opportunity.
And you know what the interesting thing about it right now? The heavyweight division right now is like it's awakening right now.
It's the creme de la creme.
Yes,
Everybody wants
I have
to watch
never
it.
seen the heavyweight division like it is right now.
We credit a lot.
If
of good
Wilder
fighters.
is being active, fighters who they always I see these articles, news articles, boxing news, and different people talking about Joshua should retire. Why should Joshua retire? He's top 4 boxer in the world.
And he's still at his peak. He's still learning.
Yes.
And he still has the passion for it. He did have that meltdown post Alexander Usyk loss for the second time.
And that's
but then again, that's emotion.
understandable.
That's passion.
Yes.
That's him wanting to actually win because he put so much into it. So that's understandable.
And you can see the potential for all these matchups because you see this is called prize fighting.
I mean, look at the heavyweight landscape that we have today. Obviously, you have the champions like Tyson Fury. You have Alexander Usyk, who is a respectable heavyweight, okay? And then you have Anthony Joshua, you have Deontay Wilder coming back to fight Robert Helenius, you have Joe Joyce versus Joseph Parker, now you have Michael Hunter versus Hughie Fury, you have Dillian White in the mix as well. So and Andy Ruiz versus what's his name, Luis Ortiz.
Yes,
that was a great fight too.
Yes.
So guess what? The heavyweight landscape is back.
Yes,
it's not the golden age,
is.
But it's so entertaining.
And people are tuning in. Yes, look, we said at the same time. Yeah, amazing.
I mean, there is the energy, there is the excitement.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, that's where the crown jewels of boxing really is. So I would agree with that.
What's your final, say in this fight? For myself, I give Michael Hunter the upper hand in this fight.
Well, I'll tell you something. Michael Hunter is, I would say, on a roll, considering his record because he drew the last fight. But I still think the man has momentum on his side. Hughie Fury still has a lot to prove. He did win his last fight, but at the same time, Hughie tends to retract due to the mindset that he has.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's power versus skill. If Hughie can actually keep fighting from the outside, pick different angles, establish the jab, then he can actually cruise his way to a unanimous decision. If he basically gets caught complacent and Michael recognizes it and he has a knack for that, Michael can actually hurt him and take the momentum to his side and actually win the fight, whether it could be a knockout or a decision.
Great. Well, we'll keep it at that. Thank you, Noah, for your input, and I think this will be a really nice fight because you know what it is. Before we end this session, I want to say, like you said, this momentum of great fights that is happening, and I think after the post-pandemic that has happened promoters are forced to make fights because the pandemic affected the boxing world so much.
But you said something during that time. I remember we had this conversation.
Yeah.
You actually said that look at the blessings and gifts we're getting in boxing because so many good fights are being matched up.
Yeah.
If you look at from the beginning of 2022,
yes,
how many great fights have been matched up?
Oh my God, yeah.
Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, number 3. We actually looked at Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos. That was an amazing fight.
Yes.
And then and if we keep on going, you still have Canelo versus Triple G. You still have what do you call it? Joe Joyce versus Joseph Parker. You have Josh versus Usyk. We have been fed with gifts, my friend.
Yeah.
So boxing is at its highest, regardless of what people say. In my humble and personal opinion. And as we always do, we give a preview of the fight and then we talk about the results of the fight the very next day.
Yeah. Thank you, brother.
You're welcome.
And speak to you soon. Huh?
Yes, sir.